Newest season of 90 Day Fiancé instantly caught my attention. For one simple reason, it was filmed in the exact city where I used to live. The moment the first episode opened with those familiar streets, old apartment buildings, crowded cafes, and late-night traffic, it felt less like watching television and more like reopening memories I thought I had forgotten. Every corner shown on screen reminded me of a different chapter of my life. Some places had changed completely, while others looked frozen in time. What surprised me most wasn't the drama between the couples. Fans already expect emotional arguments, awkward family meetings, and shocking surprises from the series. What stood out to me was how accurately the cameras captured the atmosphere of the city itself. Usually, television edits locations to look more glamorous or more chaotic than they really are. But this season felt different. The producers somehow managed to show both the beauty and the pressure of everyday life there. One of the first scenes showed a busy downtown street filled with neon lights reflecting off wet pavement after rain. I used to walk through that exact area almost every evening after work. Seeing it again brought back memories of food vendors calling out to customers, buses squeezing through impossible traffic, and people rushing home while music echoed from nearby shops. On television, it looked cinematic. In real life, it was exhausting and exciting at the same time. The show also highlighted the massive apartment complexes surrounding the city center. Those buildings may look ordinary to viewers, but for people who lived there, each tower had its own personality. Some were known for loud neighbors, some for strict landlords, and others for having rooftop views that made the entire city glow at night. When one couple argued on a balcony overlooking the skyline, I recognized the area immediately. I remember standing in a similar spot years ago during a thunderstorm, watching lightning spread across the sky while the city lights flickered below. Another thing that stood out was how the cast reacted to local culture. Several scenes showed confusion over transportation, crowded public spaces, and the fast pace of daily life. I honestly laughed because I remember feeling exactly the same when I first moved there. The city forces you to adapt quickly. If you hesitate for even a moment crossing a busy street or ordering food during rush hour, everything moves past you instantly. One cast member mentioned feeling overwhelmed by the constant noise. That part felt incredibly real to me. The city never truly becomes quiet. Even at 2 in the morning, there's always the sound of distant traffic, motorcycles racing down narrow roads, people talking outside convenience stores, or music drifting from apartments nearby. At first, it can feel stressful. Eventually, it becomes part of your routine. When you finally leave, the silence somewhere else almost feels strange. The restaurants featured in the season also caught my attention. The producers clearly chose visually attractive locations, but many of them were actually popular local spots long before the cameras arrived. One small cafe shown during a tense conversation between packed every weekend. People would wait outside for nearly an hour just for coffee and dessert. Watching it appear on television made me wonder how much business the show will bring them now. What fascinated me most was how differently the city appeared depending on the situation. During romantic scenes, the streets looked beautiful and full of life. During emotional confrontations, the same places suddenly felt cold and isolating. That's exactly how living there felt. Your experience of the city depended entirely on your mood. On good days, it felt like the center of the world. On difficult days, it felt impossibly lonely. There was one moment in particular that stayed with me long after the episode ended. A couple sat near the waterfront at night, talking about whether their relationship could survive the pressure surrounding them. Behind them, the skyline shimmered across the water exactly the way I remembered. Years ago, I used to visit that area whenever I needed to clear my mind. No matter how stressful life became, sitting there for even 20 minutes somehow made everything feel calmer. The season also captured something many outsiders don't understand about the city. People there rarely slow down. Everyone seems to be chasing something: success, stability, love, recognition, or simply a better future. That energy creates opportunity, but it also creates tension. You can see it affecting the couples throughout the season, Even simple conversations become emotional because the environment itself adds pressure. One detail viewers may not notice is how weather changes the entire atmosphere. In several scenes, heavy clouds covered the skyline, while humid air made everything appear slightly hazy. That wasn't editing. That's exactly how the city often looks before rain. And when rain finally arrives, everything transforms. Streets reflect every light, traffic becomes louder, and the entire place feels like a movie set. As the episodes continued, I started paying attention to background details more than the actual storyline. Small grocery stores, narrow side streets, crowded train platforms. Those were the things that made the season feel authentic to me. Reality television often exaggerates emotions, but locations don't lie. The city shown on screen was real, messy, energetic, and unforgettable.